Before Iran even kicked a ball at the World Cup, the drama had already exploded outside Los Angeles Stadium. A crowd gathered in the shadow of the arena, not just to watch football, not just to support a team, but to send a message to the world. At the center of the storm was a flag, an old Iranian flag featuring the sun and lion, a symbol that FIFA had banned from being flown inside World Cup stadiums. But instead of silencing the issue, the ban only made the anger louder. Fans and protesters accused FIFA of taking sides, ripping into the organization for blocking what they called a historic national symbol while allowing the current Iranian flag inside the stadium. And as Iran prepared to face New Zealand in their opening match, the scenes outside the ground became bigger than sport. This was not just a World Cup protest. This was a political flashpoint, a battle over identity, and a moment where football became the world's loudest stage. According to the report, protesters gathered outside Los Angeles Stadium ahead of Iran's first World Cup match against New Zealand. They came dressed in different colors and styles, but their message was united. They wanted Iran's presence at the tournament to bring global attention to what they say is happening inside the country. One of the people at the demonstration was Hessam Rahimian, founder of the Iran Liberty Foundation. Speaking before kickoff, he said it was vital for Iranians opposed to the current regime to unite and make their voices heard. The biggest flashpoint was the banned Shir Khorshid flag, the sun and lion flag that was used in Iran before the 1979 Islamic Revolution. FIFA had reportedly ruled that the flag was too politically charged to be allowed inside stadiums, but protesters saw that decision very differently. Rahimian argued that FIFA claimed to stay out of politics, but by banning one flag and allowing another, the organization had already made a political choice. That accusation cut straight to the heart of the controversy. For FIFA, the issue was about keeping political symbols out of the stadium. For the protesters, the ban was proof that their history, their identity, and their message were being pushed aside. And the tension did not stop outside the venue. The report says the Iranian national team had also threatened to stop play if players saw the banned flag or heard chants directed toward them. That warning raised the stakes even higher. Because once the match began, supporters reportedly smuggled the flag into Los Angeles Stadium anyway. They displayed it during the national anthem. They showed it again when both goals were scored. A symbol FIFA wanted kept out had found its way into the biggest football tournament on Earth. Then came the voices that made the protest even more emotional. A demonstrator named Niusha stood outside the stadium wearing a teal shirt with the image of Reza Pahlavi, the son of Iran's former king before the revolution. She also carried the Shir Khorshid flag. For her, the protest was not about a piece of fabric. It was about people. She said the demonstration was meant to shine a light on the tens of thousands of Iranians she said had been killed, arrested, or executed by the regime. Her message was clear. The protesters did not want the current regime, and they did not feel represented by the national team playing at the World Cup. That statement turned the match into something much bigger than 90 minutes. To millions watching from around the world, Iran versus New Zealand may have looked like a Group G football match. But outside the stadium, protesters were telling a very different story. They said this was about freedom. They said this was about history. They said this was about refusing to let the world look away. Niusha insisted the issue was political, even if others tried to describe it as just sport. In her view, the team itself carried political meaning because of what she believed it represented. And that is why the scenes in Los Angeles became so powerful. A World Cup match was being played inside the stadium. But outside, another battle was unfolding. A battle over who gets to speak for Iran. The banned flag became the image of the day. The protesters became the story. And FIFA found itself at the center of a furious backlash it could not ignore. By the time Iran's opening match against New Zealand was over, the controversy had already reached far beyond the pitch. The report says Iran drew 2-2 with New Zealand, but the scoreline was only one part of the story. The real shock was what happened around the match. The protests, the banned flag, the accusations against FIFA, and the emotional rejection of the team by some Iranian demonstrators. Now, Iran's next Group G match against Belgium at Los Angeles Stadium carries even more tension. Because after what happened before the New Zealand game, all eyes will not only be on the players, they will also be on the stands. Will the banned flag appear again? Will FIFA respond more strongly? And will the protests outside the stadium grow even louder? One thing is already clear. This World Cup moment is no longer just about football. It is about identity, politics, and a group of fans using the biggest sporting stage in the world to make sure their message cannot be ignored. And as Iran's tournament continues, the question now is not only what happens on the pitch, it is what happens around it.